Jaws is one of my favourite movies.
Jaws.
Have you seen it? I think it's one of the best movies ever made, and it might be my favourite movie. I've seen it about 30 times. And I think the acting is amazing. I think the directing is amazing, and I think it's a perfect movie.
I really loved a movie I saw last year in school called Salesman, which was a documentary, and I think it was powerful because when you're watching a movie, even if it's a fictional movie, even though it is powerful, you still know maybe it is fiction. But when you're watching a documentary and you see something quite painful, it makes you realize that it actually occurred.
The Little Mermaid, and that was my absolute favorite. I think I was 6, and I saw it in the theater, and I fell in love with music through that movie, actually. I wanted to sing just like Ariel because I thought she had such a beautiful voice. So that movie really sort of changed everything for me. I walked around the house from then on out, like singing every song from the movie and asking my parents if I sounded as good as Ariel. So The Little Mermaid for sure was my favorite.
Very, very good question. Probably films like Indiana Jones or Star Wars, and then older films that we won't say.
When I was younger, I loved Easter's East. I think that was one of my favourite films ever of all time.
Are you excited about the sequel?
Yes, I'm nervous about it just because you can't touch such a great film, but you never know. Hopefully it'll be amazing. I love a lot of the old kind of Italian films, a lot of Scorsese, and like films like also Once Upon a Time in America, The Godfather, all these things are just incredible.
I'd say one of the films that had a powerful effect on me, possibly because of where it was in my life, which was early 80s. I'd say, I'm not sure when it came out, is Midnight Cowboy. And it's just a beautiful story of innocence destroyed and friendship and love of humanity and relationship, and it's just a gorgeous film, and it really made me cry and very, very much moved me at the time. So I think I'd pick that as my most powerful.
I suppose one of the movies that I saw that inspired me to become an actor was called Dancer in the Dark, and I suppose that had a big effect on me because it made me want to be an actor.
When I was younger, well, probably cowboy and Indian movies, but in a more serious way, I remember seeing Kurosawa movies and being absolutely blown away. I love some of the great American noir films like Sweet Smell of Success, and Jean Renoir, great hero of mine.
I think Bambi was the one that made a big impact because it's quite, have you seen Bambi? It's quite traumatic. Yeah, I was quite upset about that, but all was good in the end. And it made a big impact on me because every time I got a rabbit, I used to call it Thumper. So I've had lots of Thumper rabbits. I'm a cult girl. I loved all the old 16 Candles, and sort of the Breakfast Club and stuff like that, and the Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I loved all that kind of stuff. But I also loved the Goonies. I was so into the Goonies. It's like my favourite film ever. I don't know. I loved everything. I either love a good thriller, a good horror, a good thriller, or a great comedy.
To be honest, I was a musical child. So it was the likes of Grease, Dirty Dancing, all of those, knew all the words. I suppose it depends what you're into, doesn't it?
E.T. I watched E.T. when I was 8 years old. Have you heard of E.T.?
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Oh, you should
definitely see it. It's an amazing film. It's so good, isn't it?
It's lovely. It's a lovely, lovely film. I think there's a lovely scene when E.T. is flying and they're on the bike.
Across the moon.
Yeah, across the moon. It's beautiful.
It's such a really iconic image, that, isn't it?
It's a lovely, lovely moment.